Hi everyone, welcome to a webisode on Shahabi 360. Today we're going to be having a conversation with former ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, Mr. Ken Lewis. Mr. Ambassador, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. There's a conference coming up in late May, on the 28th of May, that revolves around Iran sanctions and the lifting of Iran sanctions. And the question is, well, what next? So on that note, let's talk a little bit about your experience, your knowledge of the region, and where do you see Iran in the next 5 years?
Yes, well, we have a conference on Iran, which we're hoping to be able to take companies through the options. We're not encouraging companies to go jumping into Iran just yet. Sanctions have not been removed, and we're encouraging them, and we will have international lawyers there to bring them up to speed on what they can and can't do under some of the temporary removals. But our main advice will be carefully given advice to prepare them for the next round, prepare them for the strong possibility that sanctions will become peeled off in various sectors at various times with various countries. They're going to have to check regularly where their country stands, where their sector stands, and that's what we're going to start to take them through. I was not only an ambassador, I come from the Trade Service, the Canadian Trade Commissioner Service, and I served in a lot of very exciting markets, mostly in the Asia Pacific. And I was in China during the boom years, still are boom years, 2005 to 2008. And I always used to ask companies, what position would you be in now if you'd come in earlier? When sanctions, when China just started to open up in 1989. And I think Iran's much the same. People say, well, you know, we waited with Myanmar, we waited with Vietnam, but those are little markets. Iran is going to be the next big brick, has all the possibility to be that. It's 80 million people, relatively rich, and sitting on the world's second largest gas reserves, fourth largest oil reserves, is desperate and wants to rebuild everything. They haven't built a hotel in Iran in 35 years. They need new aircraft, new trains, new planes, everything. So it's a market where you have to be very careful as an international business not to let your competitors steal a march on you, because you can't afford to lose that market.
Sure.
So you've got to get in early, but you've got to get in carefully. So that's what this conference is going to be all about.
How, the expression that it takes two to tango, how ready do you think Iran is to open its market up to international players, to foreign investment, to rebuilding its infrastructure?
Well, we won't know till we get there. So what we're going to do is encourage companies to start to make the moves now, which are within the sanctions. You can go to Iran, you can meet in Dubai with Iranian potential partners and start to develop a marketing plan.
Sure.
How real is it going to be? I still think there's a very strong, from what I've seen in Dubai and from meeting many Iranians who've come across the waters, there is still a very dynamic merchant class in Iran of very technically proficient people, and I think the market is a lot more potential in terms of opening up than China did. I don't think there has to be as large a re-education campaign in Iran as there was in China.
I want to use the China model since you touched up on it. I've been to China, I've been to Beijing, I've been to Guangzhou, many of the cities that are industrial, and you know, when you enter China, you think, you know, McDonald's is here. All the top American brands are here. It's changing. It's evolving, and it likes what it sees in China. You know, the government likes modernization. They like to be part of a global economy. Do you think that the same kind of capacity, the political will, exists in Iran?
I don't think so yet. I think that in Iran you still have a power struggle between those who want to hold on to the values of the last 35 years and those who want to get over it and get back to it. And that's the other reason we're going to have this conference. We're going to have experts there to explain how that struggle is going.
In terms of timeline, what do you think is an optimistic timeline of when
crystal ball out?
A good relationships can happen between Iran and the rest of the world?
You have to remember one thing. When we peeled off the sanctions on Vietnam and Myanmar, took anywhere from 18 months to 2 years to get all sanctions to come off. Some countries still have sanctions on Belarus and other countries. So it will take a while. And during that time, you're going to need professional experts. You're going to need professional financial advisors, lawyers, sanctions advisors. And that's where we're going to bring together at this conference. So companies can meet the best talent out there to guide them through this maze that is Iran.
To international companies who have an eye in the Middle East, is this the right time to start looking at Iran as a viable market?
Yeah, I think it is. I think you've got to prepare yourself, because I think that the downside risk is great, that if you leave it to your competitors, you're going to be squeezed out of that market. I think the Iranians will remember who came in first.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.